with it, in the hood with it. Welcome back to the collective clips where you already know we get it in. But before we get it in, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Ding! Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content I'm kicking. And I highly appreciate all the support, man. We're going up on this channel and it's all because of you. And for that, I'm humbled and I'm highly appreciative. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man. So it went down last night. Or Sunday night, excuse me. Despensa la tira. Even I can get things wrong, right? So it went down in K-Pod, a very notorious known pod in the Monterey County Jail. You know, K-Pod have been known in the past to house active norteños, people that are still within the movement or assumed to be functioning, allegedly, right? Now, one thing I know about the norteño cause is they don't just touch a canine for nothing. When I say canine, I'm talking about deputies, sheriffs, cops, administration, things of that nature. Any Mexican that's been in prison or knows what time it is that is functioning on that level understands, man, that it's full go with the cops when it's full go time, right? You don't just touch a deputy or make it a point or a case to fuck with them just because. What that does is that brings negative energy, homes. That is a conflict of interest with what the program has going on. You know, you are not to touch a canine whatsoever at no point in time unless they put hands on you or they disrespect you or you feel that it's a must situation. You have to do what you have to do. Now, here's another thing about being locked up, incarcerated, even the county jails or prisons. In Northern California, most county jails are functioning, meaning that they're up to par or it's a training ground to go to prison. Most guys that are in the county jails are not in and out. Most of them are looking at a lot of time and they're going to prison. K-Pod has been known to house some of the most notorious figures or names out of the Northern California area, out of the bowl, the salad bowl area. You know, Monterey County is just well known. It's notorious up north. You know, Salinas is considered our East LA as far as Northern California goes, right? So Salinas has a reputation and the whole surrounding area, the bowl, Gonzales, all the different little towns, Greenfield, they have a reputation. Gila, stand up, right? So this pod that has housed several active norteños at some point in time, you know, it seems like these guys were caught up in a situation where allegedly that's being put out there is that they were doing tattoo work. Okay, a lot of people get tattoo work, man. It happens all the time. And most of the time when you're in prison, here's some knowledge you can't get in college. The cops will turn a blind eye. The COs are not going to waste their time searching your cell, taking your property, doing all that if they don't have to. Okay, they're not trying to do any type of extra paperwork. And tattooing is way down here on the bottom of the totem pole on infractions, right? It's not a big deal. People are going to get tattoo work whether you like it or not. Most cops in any situation I've been in while incarcerated on 4 yards or 3 yards, they'll just turn a blind eye and walk the other way. They're not tripping. I've in facts have seen officers get tatted down. There was this one guy, man, he was a great artist, probably one of the best tattoo artists I've ever seen in my life. Very talented. There's a lot of talented people when it comes to artwork incarcerated. And this officer knew that the vato got down, so he brought patterns from a tattoo shop inside and basically had the other CO look out so the sergeant didn't come in and sat down in that dorm and got blasted. Got a full sleeve. Paid like he weighed, man, paid like she weighed, and it was all good. So tattooing is not like it's the worst thing in the world that happens in prison. It happens all the time, and the beat's going to go on like a whisper song. It's going to continue to happen. But allegedly what happened in Monterey County Jail was whatever deputies were working, they decided that they were going to give, you know, these guys a hard time. Now, there's apprehended 5 individuals in this case, and they're all being charged with attempted murder for these assaults on these deputies. I'm not going to say their names. If you want to look up their names, they're out there already, just because I know this is an ongoing case. So everything I say is what is going on reports, man, what they've released publicly and allegedly. So allegedly, these guys were doing tattoo work, and one of the officers ran up on them and tried to take the tattoo machine and just made it difficult to facilitate the program that they were doing. Now, knowing norteños the way I do, there had to be a level of disrespect there. They didn't just go off allegedly because these deputies were trying to take their tattoo gun. I think what I would see happening, and this is just all right from my perspective on it, is that they probably ran up on them, try to take the tattoo machine, try to fucking search the cells, and vatos had shit to hide. Now, here's one thing. In any cause, whatever prison gang or whatever group you're from, If you have shit tucked, if you have shit to hide, you were supposed to go full go with the officers, period, plain and simple. There's no way you allow them into your cell to get the hot material. If you have material hooped, they're going to try to snatch you up for potty watch or whatever. And what potty watch is, for those of you that don't know, is they'll actually come raid your cell. They snatch you up. I've been through potty watch several times. They snatch you up, slam you on the ground, and they put a jumpsuit on you and they start taping it up. They tape it up on the ankles, tape it up around the waist, and then handcuff your hands, and they put you in the middle of ADSEG in a cage and leave you there for a few days, and you have to give them 3 good shits straight up right there in front of everyone. You have to shit on yourself basically, because if you have anything hooped, anything tucked, anything properly secured, it's gonna eventually come out. Now I remember one time they did that to us. You know what I'm saying? We were able to fucking bamboozle them a couple times. One time, as soon as the cops came, we already knew they were gonna put us on potty watch, so everyone shit all over the compa. There was shit all over the building. White guys were over there like, coffee! Brothers was over there like, oh, Paru! Mexicans were like, damn, Messi, right? And there was just a lot of shitting going on. But you got to do what you got to do. That's part of prison. It's a cat and mouse game. So I can't see these guys in Monterey County Jail just going off simply because they wanted to take their tattoo machine. Most volatiles that are about the business would just give it up. Like here, where there's one, there's more. You know, it is what it is. Now, there had to be a form or a level of disrespect. Or again, like I said, there had to be something that they were trying to hold on to, like in Vogue, that they didn't want the officers to get. More than likely, that seems like the case, man. Some hot material. Because there's no way you can let the cops apprehend your bundles. They can't get this hot material, whatever you got going on there, man, or anything that has anyone's name on it, because then that's going to put you in a wreck. If you don't at least fight and battle, man, and you just give it up like that, you might as well consider yourself no good and roll it up. Because you're going to get asked about it when you go to the oil. Vatos are going to be like, hey, Holmes, why didn't you tuck it? Like, fuck it. Or why didn't you at least battle and go to war for it? Guerra. That's the only time I could see officers getting assaulted. Or unless there's been a level of disrespect there for a long time and it's accumulated. You know, it's accumulated over time. That's just usually how it goes down. But K-Pod is notorious. Okay, I've heard a lot of stories. I've never been to the Monterey County Jail, K-Pod. But I've heard that, you know, once you go through there, you're properly trained according to the proper procedures of the Norteño movement. It just is what it is. Now, in Northern California, it's going to be different from Southern California. In Southern California, say LA County Jail, the Inland Empire, Riverside, whichever county jail you're at, San Bernardino, wherever, they're going to separate you according to gang modules, and they're going to separate, sometimes blacks from Mexicans because there's beef there, or whatever the case. In Northern California, they separate you by your group segment. If you're a North, you're going to be in an active Norteño pod. If you're a Southerner, you're going to be in a Southern pod. If you're black and white, you're going to be in what is considered a general population mixed yard. If, of course, you're an SNY or a protective custody inmate, they have their own pods too, as well as gangs like Northern Riders and New Flowers and different groups. So every different pod in the county jails are segregated. There's no way you're going to get off on your enemy unless you catch them in court, in passing in the hallway or whatever. At least that's how my county jail is, and I'm sure most Northern California county jails function exactly the same way. They keep people segregated. So yes, K-Pod has notoriously been known to be an active Norteño pod, but I'm not saying that the guys that did this were Norteños. I'm just saying they've apprehended 5 guys, and it's funny that every single one of them has been charged with attempted murder, amongst various other charges. Now it happens, it be like that. You know, now they got to fight it in court. So what had happened was, according to what the newspaper is saying, is that these deputies got into some type of, they confronted these inmates, and these guys fucking held their ground. They went off. It was basically a 5-on-3 is what they're saying. One deputy was being assaulted. 2 others joined in to assist him, to help him. And a baton was taken in the midst of all that. And allegedly, man, some of them got their shit cracked with the baton. It happens. You know, you got to understand, man, when you disrespect a man, it's fair game. Everything is fair in war, okay? But like I said, you know, you don't typically see North or South assaulting police officers unless it's 0 to 100. You know, you don't really see them catching the one-on-one fades or a simple just snaking on them or a fight over fucking you didn't get your extra tray or none of that. Usually it's disrespect or it's, like I said, the protection of hot materials. That's just how it is. So what I'm wondering is why only 5 individuals went off. Usually, if it goes down, it goes down. Now, this could be a case where only 5 guys were outside of their cell. Maybe, you know, the other homies didn't get access or didn't get a chance to partake in it or assist. Believe me, all that will be talked about in the back, and all that will be talked about in court. You know, but you think about it, man, how quick your day could change all over what they are saying is a simple tattoo gun, which I believe there's a whole nother twist to it, but we'll leave that where it is. And then, you know, because it's an ongoing case, we'll let them figure that out. I can't figure it out for them. I'll say this though, you know, having been an active Norteño for years when I was, right? You know, we moved as one unit. You know, if one jumped, all jumped. If, unless it was a pegada or removal or something like that, well, then there was fucking a proper protocol to that, and that's not to be spoken on. It just happened the way it happens, right? But usually if it was something that took place, like an enemy came in, it's all fucking hands on deck, homeboy. Everybody get off where you're mad at. You know, again, I've never been to Monterey County Jail, so I don't know how they release people out to the day room. I don't know if it's bottom tier, top tier, split movements. Only a few cells come out at a time. Maybe these guys were workers going to work in a kitchen. I don't know. All I know is that they said it was a 5-on-3 and that the deputies got manhandled. They got handled like men, and that's just it. You know, when you got functioning gang members, people that are willing to go to the fullest, and they're in that belief system, you know, they're dangerous individuals, any way you want to look at it. Now, I'm sure a lot of these guys are younger gentlemen, man. Maybe they're seasoned. Maybe some of them have been to prison, maybe not. But they knew enough to know to get off. You know, I just was flabbergasted when I heard it was only 5. Maybe that was the only people of that particular group that was in there. You just never know. Like I said, I don't know the DNA or the makeup of that jail. But one thing I do know is for sure is that it's going to be a hard case to fight. You know, I'm sure they have cameras. I'm sure they have witnesses. And, you know, I've seen plenty of homeboys go to county jail just doing 20 days for a traffic ticket or 10 days for a possession or whatever it may be, and then get involved in a pegada or a removal or even assault on an officer, man, and get snatched up and end up doing all day, doing life without. You know, you got to understand, you got to keep your shit on constant exorcist on swivel while you're incarcerated in the county, because a lot of things happen in the county. You know, a lot of people tend to think most of the shit goes down in prison, but you'll have more assaultive behavior that happens in the county, because this is when vatos get there and you're checking paperwork and you're figuring out this fucking dude's a poop butt or he's a weirdo coming off the streets. And most times county jail, yes, they will segregate you to your group, but there's a lot more guys that slept through the cracks, you know, thinking that, hey, I can make it through the county, and then when I get to jail, I'll roll it up. They don't make it. I'm telling you. I'm going to talk about one incident in particular. We were in the county jail. There was about 17, 18 of us on the block, which was very low in numbers at that time. There's usually about 30 to 40 homies. But at this time, there was empty cells, and everybody was being good out there on the streets. I don't know why, but that's just how it was. Thank God for that, right? But they had us locked in, and this cop was disrespecting. Every time he would come for count time, he would yell and scream, I need to see your face, and I need to see that. And look, a lot of us that had been in that county jail wasn't our first rodeo. We knew what time it was. When it's count time, of course, move a limb, let him see your face, let him know what's up. But this guy was taking it the extra mile. He was just yelling just to be heard. Wanted to hear his own fucking voice, right? And we were taking it as a level of disrespect. So what happened was, you know, we had porters, people that would come out, they're tier tenders, porters, whatever you want to call them, people that come out, sweep the tier, whatever. They're kind of like trustees. But we put people in position in that county jail that were going to facilitate communication for us. Homeboys that were trusted, they were put in that position. You didn't just get to volunteer and get the job. You were placed there. Okay, remember, the cops might have the keys, but the fucking inmates run the asylum. It's just how it is, right? So there was a couple good solid homeboys that were about the business, you know, with the activities. And the reason why they were placed there, not only were they seasoned and knew what's up, had already did prison terms, but also they were big boys. And if anyone came through or anyone got caught slipping, they were going to handle the business. Facts. You know, so we just felt like the household was more protected. And that's just the way it went. So anyways, because this cop, he was a rookie, man, he wanted to keep constantly disrespect. You know, the homeboys got off on him. They did their thing. But let me tell you what happened in the midst of that. In the midst of that, man, for almost a month straight, what they did was they hit our cells every day. They snatched us all up and they would throw us in the front, all in one holding tank, like a drunk tank, all up in the front of the county jail with nothing but boxers, no socks, no shoes, no shirts, just boxers, all kinds of Norteños, all tatted down, handcuffed, like the fucking vatos from MS, walking like that. And they put us in this fucking building and we got no food. They didn't feed us for 2-3 days straight. Fact, shit happened. Really went down. there was a homeboy that was in high power, right? Which is basically a cross. He was in a single cell. He was fighting a murder charge, and he was in question, meaning he was on ice. He wasn't functioning within the household. He was a Norteño, but not yet cleared, right? Because of what his case involved. Wasn't no weird shit. It's just the homies hadn't cleared him yet. This vato shot 17 homeboys, 3 sopas. All he can get to us, right? And we shared it. That was real canalismo right there. I'll never forget it. That's one of the best times in my life, even though it's one of the worst times in my life. You feel me? Because that was true homies coming together and just making something out of nothing. It happens like that in county. Best believe when you're a part of a group, you're a well-oiled machine and you're running all in the same mindset and mind frame. So that's why I could see with these guys in Monterey County, man, you know, it's going to be very bad and very hectic, the aftermath of this alleged assault. Because not only did these cops get smashed on, right now, these guys that are still there, their cells are going to get tossed. They're going to get fucked with constantly. Their visiting game might be all toe up. You know, commissary, you could just throw that out the window. You know, it's called retaliation, and it's unfortunate that's the way it is, but that's part of being locked up. That's why you don't take your ass to jail, because you're going to have to reap what you sow. It's a bed that you're going to have to lie in because you made that. You rolled that mattress up. You're going to have to unroll it. It's just how it is. It's facts. So anyways, not breaking news, but yes, the Monterey County Jail, it did go down. And like I said, it's kind of a trip to me because I've never seen Norteños just move on an officer unless there's real big reason behind it. This alleged story they're putting out about a tattoo machine, tattoo gun, I can't see homies getting off behind a tattoo gun. Like I said, a tattoo gun's very easy to come across. In the county jail, it's a lot more harder, I guess. But if they got one in, they can get more in. It's very simple. You know, if a cop takes your shit, if he takes your personal effects, your personal property, yeah, we got issues. Someone might get hurt, right? But if they're taking a simple tattoo gun, unless it was that fucking serious, it's really not, you know. But, you know, word on the curb is these guys got put in the hospital and all these 5 guys are being charged for attempted murder. So will them fucking charges stick? Well, that depends on exactly how injured these cops were and what went down. Everything I'm sure was seen on camera and witnesses, and they'll have their day in court. I'm thinking more than likely, depending on their rap sheets and what they've been incarcerated before, their priors, these guys are all going to get different amounts of time, you know, and depending on if some people keep their muzzle on lock, like a Fresno bulldog, just muzzle, right? If you say too much, then they get too much. You know, the best thing for these guys to do is play it smooth and just, you know, do what they got to do. That's just what it is. Anyways, you know, I could sit here, I could tell you stories all day about the county jail. And in fact, when they finally did bring all 17 of us out of that cell, starving them like Marvin, then a motherfucker, the only reason we were able to get out of that cell, because they just left us up there and just forgot about us. I'm telling you, I think we got like 1 sack lunch every 3 days for each of us, right? And the only reason we were able to get out of that situation where we were able to get at that homeboy, he got a visit. And he told his old lady, she got a hold of some of the homeboys' old ladies because we live in a small town and it was all good. Look, I got tortas calling me as we're talking. Facts. Okay, we're going to do it like that though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I couldn't tell mom I got 2 pagers. You know, I got 2 beepers. I couldn't tell her, 1 for the hoes and 1 for the tweakers. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Anyways, with that being said, that's what went down in Monterey County Jail, man. I appreciate the respect that I'm getting on this channel. Thank you guys so much. With that being said, don't take your ass to jail because you could be going in there for an 18-day rule infraction and end up doing 18 years because the homie fucking was mad because they took his tattoo gun. Very unfortunate. With that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Get every single thing that you want coming, and remember at the end of the day, it's all about the strive, the struggle, the struggle, the strive. I'm going to continue to do what I was like I never was, man, and continue to fucking do what I can for the people. Thank you. The betterment of all gente is what is at hand here, man. Be kind to each other. Don't rewind to each other. Meaning don't fucking start before someone else does, man. Do it together, canalito. It's always better that way. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive. What I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people, man. Thank you, guys, and I appreciate it. Bang, bang.